Hello humans, Artist with a Fro here, and welcome back to the show. This is going to be a very different video in regards to what I have to talk about and what exactly we're doing here. So as I'm opening up this premium gold, infinite gold pack for the sealed only series, think of this as a special episode, but also kind of as a discussion episode. And namely, if you've seen the title of the video, we're talking about other yugi-tubers, and in particular yugi-tubers that do sell or trade or sort of have a market for cards. Now, my experience with Simply Unlucky began with what I call the Lupin or Lupin deck. We ended up deciding that we were going to make a deck based around Lupin III from the versions, or rather from the decks that we were making and the cards that we pulled in our original sealed only series. Make sure that you guys check out the sealed only series on the Artist with a Fro channel here. And I had decided, you know what, I actually need a lot of cards for this potential Time Thief deck. Now, it currently is still not finished yet, but there will be more cards that are coming out in the future. So upon deciding to make a Time Thief deck, of course, after making an online version of it and then testing it out and then deciding that, you know, hey, I'm actually going to make an actual Time Thief deck, not a rank 4, you know, Utopia deck, not something where I'm using anything like Zexal, but an actual sort of like Time Thief themed deck. I tend to prefer to make decks that are actually tied into their archetype, but that's just my own playstyle. I'm not going to sort of criticize people that mix and match and do their own thing. I just tend to sort of prefer to have more of a, I would say, the pure playstyle, if that makes any sense. And in doing so, I was looking online on places where I could possibly buy or purchase some of the cards that I would possibly and potentially need. And then I came across, of course, eBay and Simply Unlucky. Now, if you're thinking that this is a rant video, then this is kind of where I pull the wool under your eyes and actually talk about how much I appreciate Simply Unlucky. For those of you that do not know, owning a shop, or actually, if you don't know this, owning a shop and owning a business is probably one of the hardest things you're ever going to do in your life. And that includes things such as yugi-tubing, that includes things such as, like, you know, your own music business, if you're an artist, if you are a teacher, if you are a business person, so on and so forth. These things aren't easy. And especially with the way that things are nowadays, with the current crush card virus, you know, tribe infecting virus, whatever you want to call it, it's becoming a lot harder and harder for people that do sell things, or rather sell, ship, and mail things to get those items across. I myself, of course, as always, give away free cards on our streams, so if you guys check out the streams, make sure that you do that, or rather, if you haven't been checking out the streams, make sure that you do that, so that way you can be eligible to win a free card. All you have to do is just beat me in a duel. But in my experience with Simply Unlucky, we were searching for some of the cards that we needed, and we needed some more Time Thief cards, obviously. We needed a bunch of Time Thief cards because we were making a Time Thief deck. Now, I had originally ordered about, I would say, a deck that cost maybe somewhere around like $7 to $10, and it came with about 30 cards that were mainly in the deck that I thought that I could need. And looking at some of the stuff that we're pulling out of here, we're definitely getting some rarity upgrades here. So Abyss Dweller is going straight into the sealed only deck, and we got the Hope Woven Honor Shark as well, which is, of course, going in there. So thinking about kind of how long shipments would take, I kind of expected it to be about, like, you know, a week or two at most, maybe 3. I myself, you know, when I do send out free cards, it generally does take about a week or 2. And then for those people that are across the states, it usually takes somewhere from like 3 to 4 weeks for them to get the cards that they've won. But in regards to Simply Unlucky, I didn't necessarily get the cards the first time around. And I was just like, you know, hey, this doesn't seem like everything is okay. So I ended up, I believe, ordering a second order just to double check. And again, those cards didn't come either. And this is the part where, you know, at this point, you often reach out and you're just like, hey, like, I'm not sure if this is something that, like, you know, is common. I'm not necessarily sure if there are things that are happening at the Simply Unlucky store that we need to be aware of, or again, just taking into consideration all of the things noted, that this is sort of a very, very trying time, and a lot of things that we need to basically keep in mind is that, again, sending out mail is a lot harder to do now than it has been previously. So it's definitely one of those things that we want to make sure that we keep in mind in regards to what we're giving away. But the point of what I'm trying to make, and the point of what I'm trying to get at, is that the customer service, whether it was Roman himself, whether it was one of, let's say, his associates or one of his work partners, were so kind and were so communicative that they got back to me as soon as I reached out to them. I would say almost within the same day. They were able to then sort of figure out, like, what was going on. And I believe that it turned out what happened was that I actually didn't end up putting my apartment address on the shipping. So it might have been sent to the building, but it probably wasn't sent directly to my apartment. So I was like, I'm willing to pay again. I'm willing to, of course, make up for the shipment, because I obviously do want to make the cards because I want to make the deck, but I also want to make sure that they're getting the reimbursement that they have as well. And I think that, again, making sure that you do have your open forms of communication, especially with people that you are doing business with, is probably the most important thing. And I can't really express just how appreciative I was when Simply Unlucky and his team were able to get back to me with the speed that they were. And of course, considering I was like, oh, I'm a small yugi-tuber, I'm not sure if they will see this, if they will interact with it, or if they're just going to disregard it. But again, they were able to get back to me as, I would say, almost as soon as I sent the email out. And they were able to send me, again, the cards that I needed. So this is a sort of thank you video for Simply Unlucky. If you've made it this far, or rather if you've, again, saw the part where I said this is not a rant. This is very much a thank you video to Simply Unlucky. Continue to do the work that you do, good sir. You are one of the, one of the people that a lot of yugi-tubers do look up to. And again, just thank you and thank your team for being as communicative as possible in regards to reaching out and making sure that, not only that your business runs, but that also that you're able to service some of the people that are in your community. Now, as you guys are looking at some of these cards, again, all of these cards will be open for free win. All you have to do is just beat me in the duel on my streams. I generally stream Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, so make sure that you guys tune in for that. I'll also put a link down to Simply Unlucky's channel, so make sure that you guys do subscribe to him as well. We are also on to round 3 of the A to Z tournament, so the footage of that, or rather the footage of rounds 1 and 2, should be up pretty soon. But that's pretty much going to do it for our video. We did end up getting a set of good pulls for the Ancient Warrior deck. We got an upgraded sort of Abyss Dweller, gold rare, and then we got our Hope Woven Honor Shark, which is another card that we needed. Now we just need to get Gaga Cowboy. So, again, thank you guys. Thank Simply Unlucky. I've been the Artist with the Fro. That, my friends, is the show. And thank you all for watching. Take care.